Olivia, so good to talk to you. So, Snetterton was another decent outing for the Prismatic team. Although, let's maybe start by talking about the accident at the start of race one, because that was a bit hairy. You and Sascha were both lucky to get through that, weren't you?
Yeah, I mean, everyone drove such a high speed and is still sort of 2-3 abreast coming through turn one. And then when we saw it in both races, that they can then have big incidents at turn two. Our qualifying, we need to work on qualifying pace, I think, more than anything. And that's definitely a focus going into next week. But what it does mean for those race ones is that we have the ability to ease into those known trouble areas, a bit like we had at Brands Hatch. And yeah, there was car upside down, but got good spot calls from Rachel, and was able to get through. Unfortunately, from some incidents further forward, there was a car that picked up some damage later in the lap. And as I was trying to work my way past that driver, it sort of disconnected me from the draft train.
Of course, in race two, it was a similar story, although you did benefit from several incidents in the field, and you both kept it on the island, as it were. And I guess you would probably say that race two at Snetterton, which is neither of your favourite circuits, is a pretty good result to take out of there, right?
Given how lap one went, yeah. So of course we were in that pack to start race two at that point, and I unfortunately didn't get the best start. I was a little bit too heavy on the throttle on the getaway, and so spun the tyres, bogged down a bit, and immediately that means that every car behind's trying to take it 3 wide, trying to take advantage and get that spot quickly, because with how these races are, there's a lot of cars who are starting at the back of the field who might be very quick but got into an incident in race one. So I knew there was a lot of faster cars behind, and as soon as I had that start, the pressure was immense. So
if we look at a team like Williams Esports, which is obviously having a few more problems than they expected in this F4 season, why is it that a team such as Prismatic, which obviously relies on a lower level of resources, is able to get things together? What might be the difference there, do you think, for you?
I think a lot of it is that they're a team that's used to being at the front of every field they race in. And so the drivers have that ambition to work their way from the front. But it's, again, with how tightly matched these cars are, it can be very difficult to make all of those overtakes in turn, especially with the reverse grids and the race twos, without coming into some sort of trouble. Every position matters, and if you lose 10 spots trying to gain 1, that's a huge deficit. Whereas if it was, say, a move to go from 11th to 10th, there would be no risk in sort of the classic F1 point structure, because you either crash out and finish with no points, or you don't make the move and finish with no points, or you make the overtake and you get a point. Whereas with how the championship is set up now, as of this season, it encourages that sort of calculation of every spot is important. So you don't want to put any of them at risk by taking unnecessary lunges, for example. I think as our team, we're sort of used to that sort of thing of just trying to make sure to drive in what we know we're capable of.